Hey, everybody, welcome to the Most Excellent Entertainment Podcast. I'm your host, Keith, and with me today is perhaps the most controversial guest we've ever had on the show, to be honest. We're switching gears a little bit here with Mr. Flat Earth Dave. Welcome to the show.
What's going on, Keith? Thanks for having me.
Sure, man. I'm happy to have you. It's if you're not familiar with the podcast, what we did in the first season was we broke down people's creative journeys and the things that they've done creatively, and then why they continue to create. And this season, we've decided to switch things up a little bit, which has allowed us to have guests like you on. Okay. So it's a different direction, and honestly, I'm pretty excited about it. I'm pretty curious about the whole thing. Like, what is it that made you decide that the Earth was flat? I mean, that's got to be the big question, right? Like, where did this idea come from?
Yeah, the what made me decide that the Earth was flat is I actually looked, right?
Okay.
So and when you look, if you Google flat Earth, this is what you find. This is not flat Earth. This is a gatekeeping purposeful me. Excuse me.
Sure.
I'm losing my voice a little bit.
Man.
That makes you laugh at flat Earth. It makes you laugh at it.
Okay.
So that's not flat Earth. When people started sending me flat Earth stuff at my conspiracy podcast, I thought they were crazy. And finally, I wouldn't watch a 1-minute video, but then I was forced to look. And I went in with a bad attitude. I went in, I'm just going to disprove this nonsense. And That's how you become, excuse me. That's I have a little chest cold. Sorry. That's how you become a flat earther. No worries.
Yeah,
let me ask you a couple questions. Yeah, let me ask you a couple questions.
Sure, yeah.
And by the way, if you score as well as I did, that'll be amazing.
Okay.
But you can only score better because I got them all wrong, right? So
all right.
You believe the Earth is a globe, right? As I used to.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Yeah. So what is the circumference of the Earth?
Oh, I don't know.
Radius, distance of the sun?
No clue.
How they figured it out?
Okay, so
my point is, the people that think the Earth is a globe, like I used to be, have never really looked into it. We just were indoctrinated before we had the ability to think,
right?
And we just believe, right? Belief is the enemy of knowing. It takes time and effort and energy to know the Earth is flat. And so, we don't have to get into all the technicals today, but if you actually look, people go, well, boats over the horizon, Eratosthenes from 2,000 years ago, sunsets, seasons, and circumnavigation. When you actually look into these things, they actually prove the Earth is flat.
Interesting.
So, yeah, it's very interesting.
Because I do know Aristophanes, is that how you say his name?
Eratosthenes.
Eratosthenes, gotcha.
Yeah,
I do know about his thing with the measuring of the shadows, and that showed him that there was a curve.
Well,
that I do know.
So we were taught that in school, and Carl Sagan on Cosmos, he said, Eratosthenes 2,000 years ago was figured it out within 2% of current understanding. That's amazing, right? And so he did that in 2,000 years ago. And since then, there are many other mathematicians that came out of that area in Greece that wrote many, many books, and they never, ever mentioned Eratosthenes. The first story about that experiment that showed up in the 1900s when the Rockefellers took over the education system.
Interesting.
That's kind of weird. That's kind of like writing a history of the Chicago Bulls and never mentioning Mike, whatever his name is, Michael Jordan, right? Yeah. So it's a little crazy, but let me show you what Eratosthenes did, and then because people don't even know the story. So Eratosthenes said one day he looked over a well and he said, "Oh, I can see the sun at the bottom. That means the sun is directly above me." Okay, great. That's testable, repeatable, observable, and provable. He said, well, the Earth is a globe. I bet if I sent my buddy 500 miles away he'd be over the curve a little bit. And if he put a stick in the ground, I put a stick in the ground, mine would have no shadow and his would have a shadow, and he could do some really good math and figure out the subversity of the earth. And that's what he did.
Okay.
But first you have to think of the logistics. His buddy had to walk 500 miles and count his steps to know he went 500 miles.
Right.
Right. Could you do that?
That's a lot.
Could you do that?
No, I could.
Yeah. I mean, how's he find a straight line? How's he figuring out, please.
Right.
And then when he gets there, how are they communicating? How are they taking the measurement at the exact same time? Right.
Fair.
And back then they thought the earth was geocentric, which means that the earth was at the center and the sun circled around the earth. Well, Eratosthenes allegedly said, the sun's so far away that all the rays come in straight, right? So here's Eratosthenes. He's got a stick with no shadow. These are the sun rays. They all come in parallel. And then here's his buddy, and his shadow length was X, and he could do some very good math and figure out the sphericity of this sphere, right? Okay. That's with an infinitely far sun. On a flat Earth, we have a small local sun. So here's Eratosthenes. He's got a small local sun. Here's his buddy 500 miles away. Same shadow length, same math. You can figure out the sphericity of this flat plane, right? Okay. And so, thinking that the sun rays come in parallel when no one has ever seen parallel rays. They always come in corpuscular. They're spreading out. Right. And now the globers will say, oh, this is perspective. It's like train tracks. They look like they're going together, but they're not. Well, these ones over here are going away and they're still spreading out. Perspective should bring them together. Right. So, corpuscular rays prove a local sun. And the fact that, they believed in the heliocentric model back then with a distant sun, it makes no sense. They can't have their cake and eat it too, right? No one has ever seen rays come in straight. No one. And so that's a problem, right? And then you can do a little thing yourself. Get some post beer cans, lighters, whatever, and put the light over this one, and it's just a little offset. You got a short shadow, and then you can measure the length of this shadow, and you could figure out the sphericity of this flat table using the same math. So does that prove the Earth is flat? No. It proves that his experiment works in both models perfectly. Right. So there's things today we're going to talk about. They fit in 3 baskets. Works on a flat Earth, works on a flat Earth and a globe Earth, and works only on a globe Earth. And guess what doesn't? Get basket has nothing in it. Nothing. There's nothing goes in that works on a globe Earth only.
Okay.
Works on a globe Earth only. Yeah. All right. So there you go. There's Eratosthenes. All right. I hope that wasn't too confusing.
No, I mean, I think I followed it for the most part. So how do you discount photographs? I mean, aren't there satellite pictures of the Earth being round? I mean, that's
you. By the way, you're going down the exact same questions I did. You're following the path. So, and by the way, there's. I used to say there's no stupid questions, but all the questions are stupid. So you can't go wrong. Once you know the Earth is flat, it's kind of funny. Well, photographs. Yeah, photographs would be nice, but NASA doesn't have any photographs. They only have images and pictures. They never say photograph. Images and pictures aren't photographs. This is the one that was on everyone's iPhone when the first iPhone came out. It's called the Blue Marble. Sure. When we zoom in, we can see that the clouds are stepped and repeated. Okay. Interesting. And then Robert Simon, the visual artist at NASA that made that, he said, I made it in Photoshop. His famous quote, I made it in Photoshop because it has to be, right? The only image we have of Earth is supposedly this one from the moon. Okay. Right. Like, could this be faked? Right. And now NASA gets $74 million a day. Right. Look, and this is what they give us. This is the backside of the moon. Wait a minute. If the sun's behind the camera, how come the moon isn't light? How come it's not emitting light? You can read by moonlight. It casts your shadow on the ground. Right. Sure. So it's and then this one was the only other image, 1972, the second blue marble, right? Okay. The second blue marble. And the problem is, here is the same day that picture was taken, and we have South America's in the light, All of this is in the light. So just the US and the backside of Australia and a little bit of Russia up here is in the dark. So, so if we look at this image again, how is that possible? This is Africa right here, right? Where's the rest of the stuff that's in the light, right? Where's South America? And you can only light up half the ball, right? If there's only a single source light and a ball, it'll always be half, always.
Yeah.
And I could show you how it lights up 70% sometimes.
Wow.
Right.
Okay.
And so here's another. Let me just show you a few more. So this is the 2012 image of Earth right here. Okay. So you got giant America here is Florida, Mexico, right? All the rest of the stuff's on the other side. Kind of weird. Right. But if we lay this out on a map, so we have a map of the world.
Sure.
And we lay it out right here, line it up. So that's all it's showing. You have to believe that all of this is on the other side of that ball. The reason you can't figure it out is because it's impossible. It's stupid. You're not stupid. It's stupid. Right. And people just short circuit. They're like, well, maybe it's focal length. All of this has to be on the other side of the ball.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
That's impossible. Absolutely impossible.
Okay.
Yeah. You with me?
I think so. I mean, it's an odd thing to try to wrap your head around.
It certainly is. It is a hard one. But you think about it, it's you can fake things. Like, look, I'm gonna show you 3 images. You got this guy.
Yeah.
You got this guy. We know who he is.
Right.
And you got that guy. Right.
Okay. Yeah.
So which one of them is a painting?
Oh, wow. I am going to go with the Morgan Freeman picture.
They're all paintings. Okay.
Wow. Okay.
They're all paintings. Okay. So what's easier to paint? A stupid globe Earth, and when we look, this is a painting. This is a painting.
Yeah.
Right. Look at the detail in that. Right. Amazing. Amazing.
Sure.
Right. And so then the NASA gives us this. And we want to go, oh, that's proof the Earth is a globe. Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's stupid. And the thing is, the farther you look through the atmosphere, the more opaque it becomes. It's like if you and I had a panel of glass, perfectly clear glass, no reflection on it, you wouldn't even be able to see the glass. Put 100 panes together, we couldn't even see each other. Right. The air does the same thing. It's like water, but and it becomes opaque over distance. So if let me just show you right here. So when we send balloons up to 127,000 feet and we look down, the Earth is always white.
Yeah.
All right. But when NASA goes up a million miles, the Earth is technicolor. It's beautiful, greens and blues and clouds. And this is what the Earth looks like from just 127,000 feet. Right. Does that sun look 93 million miles away, or is it close? See how it's got a hot spot here? It's darker over here.
Sure. I mean, it looks
local.
Yeah.
It looks local because it is local. Yeah. We don't even know what the sun is.
So what would be the reason to perpetuate this?
Great question.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that in a couple minutes. Let's just look at a couple more proofs. Like people say, people have flown around the world, right? Let me show you how because we could speculate.
Yeah,
all
I
day
was
long.
I was kind of disproving, like, in my own head, why that doesn't make sense as evidence, as far as like walking to the edge of the Earth and flying around the world. That sort of applies to the same thing as a globe. I mean, you wouldn't.
Well, there is no edge. So, there is no edge. Yeah.
Okay.
And I'll go over that in a minute. But and it's, by the way, I love that you got to the why the lie question, because when you get to the why the lie question, it's because your subconscious is going, this guy's making points. I got to find something, right?
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
I actually like, the faster you get to that question, I believe the more intelligent you are. Okay.
Thank you.
So there you go. That's just my belief. I could be wrong.
Right. Yeah. I disproved some of the stuff already by myself. So just listening to you. So yeah.
On a flat Earth, you got a magnetic center. That's the north. Okay. And so this is a boat, an airplane. The compass is pointing north. Now I'm trying to go west. West is right here on the compass. And as I go, I have to keep turning to maintain a western heading. Right. West is a circle around magnetic north. Now I'm heading 90 degrees south. 90 degrees east. And I'm going in a circle again. I end up right back where I started from. And so people say, well, that proves the Earth is a globe. No, it works on both. But now if I try to dead reckon, which means not adjust my turning, and as soon as I start moving, I'm heading south. Look, south is away from north. South is all of these lines are south. Right? Because north, if you and I were standing on the either side of the North Pole with our backs to each other and we both started walking away, we're both walking south.
Okay.
In opposite directions. Now, if I try to go south on a flat Earth, right? South, I'm just going to disappear. On a globe, I should be able to go south, like from Santiago, and pop up over in Australia. Right. It's wrapped around a ball. Look, I'm heading north. I'm heading north. I'm heading north. And as I pass the North Pole, compass does a 180. And now I'm heading south.
Right.
Every straight line is south. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
So
it makes sense.
So circumnavigation goes into the works on both baskets, east and west circumnavigation. What doesn't go into the flat Earth basket is southern circumnavigation. And guess what? Guess how many people have circumnavigated south?
I'm gonna guess none.
Good guess, zero.
Zero.
Yeah,
gonna guess none. Yeah.
They'll say, oh, well, that's not true. There was a Pan Am flight or something. And they circumnavigated the Earth. Let me just find it. And Amelia Earhart circumnavigated. Right, here's Amelia. She went just around. Boom, boom. These are all her locations. She just went around the Earth like this.
Interesting.
Right. That's circumnavigation. Let me just. Where's the thing? Where did it go? South North Flight. Oh, here we go. So this is it's called they said they're going from the North Pole, right?
Yeah.
Right. North Pole. They went around here, down to South America, Chile, to the alleged South Pole, up by Madagascar, up through Europe, Russia, and back to the North Pole. Now there's circumnavigation, right? But if we look at it on a flat Earth map, they just did this down. They went to Antarctica. They went up and around. That's all they did.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
There's another one, a guy that we were excited he was doing. It's called Spider Tracks, and he went. He went to all these locations and he went to the South Pole. Then he said the weather was so bad that he had to turn around and he came back up through Brazil. And he was going for the Guinness Book of World Records, first one to circumnavigate south to north. Right. And we're like, oh, he didn't do it because we tracked him live. And Guinness gave him the world record for south-north circumnavigation. This is all he did. He just went here, boom, 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 boom.
Okay.
Now, you can be a pilot and actually believe that you circumnavigated the globe just by taking that route. Because if that's your paradigm, you're just going to believe, hey, I'm flying over a ball. I fly upside down, right? And the spinning of the ball doesn't bother me at all. Right? Yeah. So
okay.
Let me show you another one. Here, let me ask you this. And here's the thing. People that, where'd you get your degree? A degree means you're awesome at memorization and regurgitation, right?
Sure.
You don't question what's in the book. You memorize and regurgitate it, and then you could become a teacher, right? Yeah. So think about this. We got you got a ball, you got a globe, and Earth, the north is on the top, the equator goes around the middle, and the southern hemisphere is on the bottom, right? It's just like we were taught, right? So there's, I don't know how many airports are, 10,000, 20,000 airports in the northern hemisphere. Sure. So any combination of any two airports, make a million combinations. You're picking them out of a hat. All right, this place to this place, this place to that place. Is there any reason any of those flights would ever need to go into the southern hemisphere?
I really don't know, brother.
Well, if you think about it,
Yeah.
you got a
I
ball,
mean,
and I
yeah.
mean, if you had a globe and you were like, okay, like even if you had somebody that was on this side of the globe and they were
Right.
right near the equator, and you had another airport on this side, you could just go around the equator
Right.
right
Straight
above
through
it,
it. Sure. Sure.
or
Sure. Yeah.
over the top. You know,
Okay. Yeah, that makes
there's no
sense.
reason to dip into the south. Guess what?
Right.
There's no northern flights from a northern airport to another northern airport that ever dip below the equator.
Wow.
Okay, that makes sense on a globe. Makes sense
Yeah.
on a globe,
Yeah.
right?
Sure.
But the same should be true for southern flights. Any southern location to another
Right. Should
southern
just be able
location,
to go. Right.
that makes sense on a globe. It
Yeah.
doesn't make sense on a flat Earth. Let's look at a flight path. There's hundreds of these, right? New Zealand, which is right off of Australia. So Australia is behind the curve here, and Argentina over here. In South America, FlightAware says this is the great circle route, shortest route. Now, I'm wondering, why don't they just go here? Whatever. It's about the same.
Sure.
Right. The actual flight route goes all the way up over the equator, all the way up to San Francisco, all the way over to Texas, and then all the way back down.
Wow. Okay.
What did your mom teach you in school? What's the shortest distance between 2 points?
Yeah, shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line. Yeah.
New Zealand, San Francisco, Houston, Texas, Argentina.
Interesting.
Yeah,
okay,
isn't it?
So, sorry, but I do have a question. Thinking of New Zealand and Australia.
Yeah.
How do you explain the opposite seasons on a flat Earth?
Yeah, seasons are the best.
They're exactly opposite of America. So
right.
Yeah. So how do you explain that?
Yeah. So they want to tell us what's your understanding of the seasons? Do you remember the globe explanation of the seasons?
Geez, we're spinning away from the sun when it's cold, right?
We're leaning towards the sun. We have more direct rays.
Right. Sure. Okay.
Yeah. When you're leaning towards the sun.
But...
Yeah. And then when we're leaning away from the sun, it's with the rays are coming in at more of an angle, and the heat is spread out. But if you think about it, it doesn't matter which way the Earth is tilted because it's also spinning. So when you're spinning away from the sun, when the sun's near the horizon, sunrise or sunset, it should be really cold because it's a really steep angle. But in June in Connecticut, when the sun appears on the horizon in the morning, I could feel the heat immediately. So it's at its most severe tilt. It's the most severe tilt, right?
Right.
And I could feel the heat. But in December, when according to the heliocentric model, the Earth is actually 3.5 million miles closer to the sun. But at noon, when the sun is at the highest point for the day, I can look at the sun. I can't even feel the heat on my face. It makes no sense.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah. Hey, can you turn the air conditioning on, Paige? Thanks. And so let's look at seasons for a second here. So it's very, very simple on a flat Earth. So you and I are outside. It's freezing cold. Okay.
Yeah.
And middle of the winter, whatever. And somebody comes over with a heat lamp and holds it, 10 feet above your head. So it's warm. It's warm for you, right? And where is it? The sun is directly above you. It's high in the sky.
Sure.
Right. I'm cold because it's far from me and the sun's lower in the sky to me, even though it's the same height. And so this person will come over and keeping it at the same height. It got higher and higher for me and lower for you. I'm warm. You're cold. The sun's high. The sun's low, even though it's the same height. It's all perspective. It's all perspective. Did I all right. Yeah. That was overlaid. Okay. It's all perspective that way. That's how the seasons work. So let me just show you. I got one more. So I'll just show you easier on the app.
Okay.
So I created an app called the Flat Earth Sun, Moon, and Zodiac Clock app, and it teaches people how the sun works. So you see this yellow line here. This is the Tropic of Capricorn, which is the winter solstice. December 21st, the sun is over there. And then for 6 months, it'll circle around, winding in, getting closer and closer to the Tropic of Cancer, which is this yellow line, right? And so twice a year, it passes over the equator, which is the red line, right? So if I go, let me just jump forward. So we're in January, February, March, April, May, June. So in June, the sun is all the way in here. Okay. So where are you in the United States?
I'm in Indiana, southern Indiana.
You're in Indiana. So in June, the sun comes nice and close. So it's high in the sky. It's warm. It's giving us its heat because it's close.
Right.
And in South America, it's winter because the sun is far away. Right. It's winter in Australia because the sun's over here. It's super hot in Miami because the sun goes right over it. Right. But 6 months later, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, the sun moves all the way out here. It's far from us. We're cold. It's hot in Australia because the sun goes right over Australia.
Interesting.
Right. So the sun keeps track of the hours and the days, and its position keeps track of the seasons. Right.
Yeah.
The moon. So the sun will lap the moon once every 28 days. So as it goes around, it's getting farther and farther from the moon. The moon phase keeps track of the weeks and the months. There used to be 13 months of 28 days.
Right.
One day to reset the year.
Sense.
Yeah. One day to reset the year. And but they hijacked our calendar. And then the stars are actually going faster than the sun, but just a tiny bit. It takes, you want to guess how many days for the stars to lap the sun?
31.
No, it takes 365. The stars keep track of the seasons and years.
I was so lost. All right.
The sun will drift back into each zodiac for about a month until it resets at the end of the year.
Gotcha.
Right?
All right, that makes sense.
So the sky is a perfect clock, and it's amazing. It's incredible creation.
Yeah. So wow. All right. So I'm trying to take in all this information. This is a lot. Here's
the thing. It's a lot of information, and I don't want you to believe anything I tell you today. I want to point to a lot of doors and you to go, wow, that's interesting. And then you have to commit yourself to finding the information. Googling flat Earth will only give you propaganda. You Google top 10 reasons Earth is flat, you're going to get top 10 reasons the Earth is a globe, right? Yeah. So Google doesn't want you to know. That should be a red flag, right? That should be a huge red flag. On my website, flatearthdave.com, you can download the app, which is amazing. It's only $3. Or you can just go to the crash course. You'll see a picture of me. It says crash course, and there's a list of videos. Awesome videos, amazing. Turn off Netflix and watch these videos, and you will not, if you watch the first 5 videos, you're screwed. You're done. You're finished. It's over. Right? You're a flat earther. Right? Wow. Okay. And then your life will never have a boring moment in it again because there's too much to see and learn. But they don't want you to know that. They want you to be bored, scared, in fear. We're living in a world of lack and random specks in an expanding universe.
Wow. So I think that is a good segue into the original question.
Why
the conspiracy? Yeah. Why the lie? Yeah.
Just one other thing.
Okay.
On the app. No, about why the lie. There's a question mark button. That's the frequently asked questions page. And I just loaded the app. It's got to load for a second. Sure. There's some slow internet here. So there's a section called Why the Lie. Come on. Maybe this will make it go. Come on. Load. Here we go. So Why the Lie is going to show up right here. There it is. Why the Lie. And there's great videos there. The price of the app is just, those videos are absolutely amazing. So, but we can talk about Why the Lie.
Yeah.
They want you living in fear, false evidence appearing real. They want you not to know that there's more. There could be more land. There could be, they're hiding all sorts of things. They're hiding free energy. They're hiding the creator. They're hiding your spirituality. They're hiding more land. They're hiding more resources. They're hiding scientific knowledge, what's in Antarctica, and they're hiding that we're at the center of creation, not a random speck flying through an infinite universe. We're special. We're not just random Big Bang cosmology nonsense floating on a wet, rocky pear ball in a space vacuum, which is impossible, right? Think about this. They tell us we're on a lumpy rock surrounded by smooth, curved water that the curvature has never been measured, spinning with high-pressure air adjacent to a void of no pressure called a vacuum, okay? How do you contain air without a container? If I had a box of air in a room that had no air or just less air, what happens when you put a hole in the box? Bam, it violently fills the available space. Yeah.
Right.
And then, well, gravity holds the air down. Gravity holds the air down, right? But I can take a straw, and with the weak low pressure system of my mouth and lungs, I can pull water and air up and away from gravity. But the Tor 17 vacuum of space can't, right? And they say that the air is velcroed to the earth. It's being held down, right? But we look out in the sky and we see clouds going in different directions. How is this velcroed air moving in different directions? Right?
Yeah. I mean, it's something that you never really question because it's just what you've been told. So
it's what we were told. We were told the earth is a ball before we had the ability to think, right? And Sesame Street, Disney, they're all in it together, right? It's all about indoctrination. Indoctrination is huge. And if you look at this is a worksheet kids bring home, right? They're teaching them this nonsense. But look, this is a straw man argument. The earth is not like this. Right. And so they're literally teaching kids, right, that think their teachers are gods, nonsense, right? But then they always do what we call revelation of the method. They always tell us the truth, right? So here's a little scene from Sesame Street, and what's in the fiction section? A globe and a rocket.
Interesting.
It's not an accident. Yeah, not an accident. And and then about the programming in cartoons, right? Here's the Simpsons. The Simpsons have predicted everything. Right. Scams, right? Here's the globe. Right. Wanted, you got the devil. The globe is a satanic model. Everything is a I got 666s in it. It's incredible. The tilt of the earth is 66.6 degrees. At the distance to the moon is 6 times 6 times 600 or something like that. It's just, there's so many 600s in it.
Interesting.
Yeah. They want us to believe that, Charles Manson, this is what a cult leader looks like, when in fact, this is what a cult leader looks like, right? Because they say flat earthers, they're science deniers. No, we hold science's feet to the fire, right? There's no science in astrology. I mean, in astronomy.
Yeah.
The real science is astrology, which I used to laugh at. I'm like, how could Mars in retrograde 45 million miles away or whatever it is affect my life? Right. But the truth is that these luminaries that are right here within the Earth system are do affect us, right? We live in this double toroid. We live on this dielectric plane. These are the luminaries that follow these magnetic lines, and they circle around, right? So here, let me ask you this: the planets, what do they all circle? What are they in the heliocentric model? What are they orbiting around? Easy question. They're orbiting around the sun. And so, why do we have a North Star? What is the North Star? Do you know?
Oh, it's for navigational purposes, right?
Well. Why doesn't the North Star move according to the heliocentric model? Right.
I'm not sure about that. Yeah.
So we're spinning, right? And so if we're spinning on an axis and an imaginary line, the star that's lined up with that axis would not
make
move.
Sense.
It would not move,
sense.
Right?
Yeah, sure.
So let's pretend that there's we got our heliocentric model and not the scale, of course. And so here's the Earth, and this is our axis. So whatever star lines up with that star wouldn't move, right?
Right.
That wouldn't move. So let's say somebody lives on Saturn, okay? Would they care about our North Star? It wouldn't be an important star to them. It would just be another star in the sky.
Right.
Because if the Earth was tilted like this, then our North Star would be over there. It's not important to any of these other planets. Now, if this was the angle of axis of all these other planets, this North Star for Saturn would be here, Jupiter would be over here, right? Uranus, whatever that is, it would be kind of pointing towards the sun. So the sun would never set this side of Uranus, and the other side would be in the dark. So you have all of these spots. But the truth is, all the luminaries, sun, moon, planets, asteroids, all make their beautiful spirograph patterns, sacred geometry around Polaris. Mercury, Venus, Mars, Juno, which is an asteroid, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, they all circle Polaris. Now, if you have this three-dimensional thinking, which most people do not, you try to make sense of it in the heliocentric model, and you can't, because it's impossible in the heliocentric model. Absolutely impossible. You know that the pyramids in Egypt, the Great Pyramid, Giza, has a shaft that points towards Polaris, right?
Right.
But that was built how long ago? Right, thousands of years ago.
Sure.
And it still points towards Polaris, but they have an explanation for that. They say, oh, well, the Earth is wobbling, and 2,000 years ago, it pointed towards Thuban, whatever. And now it just happens to point towards Polaris. And, and it's a cool story, bro, right? Cool story.
Yeah, the wobbly axis thing is odd.
The wobble. Also, you have to remember that we're corkscrewing through space, traveling 4.5 billion miles a year. All the other stars are moving in their own positions, but they're so far away that all of that motion for millions, thousands of years, or whatever, doesn't change our perspective, right?
The
stars never move, right?
Right.
So are you familiar with the Georgia Guidestones?
I'm not.
So in Georgia, 1981, somebody put up these like Stonehenge type pillars with 10 commandments on them. Crazy. That's a whole nother podcast.
Interesting. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Right.
Okay.
One of them was never let the population rise above 500 million again. What?
Well, that's happened.
What? Yeah. No, never let it rise above 500 million. So right now we're at 8 billion. Okay.
Yeah.
That's a serious reduction. And that's if you believe the population numbers. But in the center stone, there's a very thin hole that when you look through it, it lines up with Polaris. Right now, if the Earth is wobbling 1 degree every 76 years, 1 degree in the sky is equal to 3 full moons side by side. Okay. So this has been up for over 40 years. Therefore, it should have wobbled 0.5 degree, and that would be a moon width and a half. You should not be able to see Polaris through this straw thickness hole. It should be way out, but we could see it. So we started making videos. They started going viral. And then guess what happened? Boom. A terrorist blew up the Georgia Guidestones.
Wow.
And 3 hours later, the bulldozers were here, knocked the entire thing over, took away all the rubble, stole the time capsule, and no investigation was ever done.
That's insane.
Yeah. That's what we call rock solid evidence. They had to get rid of it. They had to get rid of it. Right. Huh. Yeah. Amazing.
Yeah.
And people go, well, what about Stonehenge? Stonehenge has some crazy alignments. You know Stonehenge, right?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Stonehenge was built in the 1950s.
Really?
It was built in the 1950s.
Okay.
Yeah. And they tell us that it's thousands of years old. It was built in the 1950s. So everything's a lie. Yes, correct. Your entire life is a lie. Everything you've ever believed in is a lie. That's what. That was your next question. Yes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, has the authenticity of this film been proven? I guess.
Yes, 100%. 100%. There's so much information on it. So, have you looked into the old world yet? Probably not.
No, I haven't. Yeah.
So
I really haven't. This is kind of my introduction, other than people making fun of flat Earth. Like, honestly,
I'm feeding you with the fire hose. Don't believe anything I say. I offer 3 Bitcoins for 1 globe proof, right? But that you have to take it seriously. Every day on my app, there's a featured video right here. You just click the thumbnail while you're having your tea or coffee in the morning. You watch the video. Do that for 2 weeks. At the end of the 2 weeks, if you think you have a globe proof, you can send it to me. But before you do, you have to hit the frequently asked questions button. Make sure it's not answered there. Probably is. and then you can start over. And by the time you're done, you're going to be like, holy crap, Earth is flat. And then now you got to re-engineer your life. But there's this button right here. The one that looks like a dragon. It's a griffin. It brings you to the old world page. You think flat Earth is big? Just wait until you see the old world. It's around you. You're what state are you in?
Yeah.
Indiana. There's old world buildings in your hometown. Okay. And you're going to walk after you watch a couple of these videos, you're going to walk by them and go, how did I miss that? How come I never thought about that? And if you're new to the old world order right here on that page, watch that video, start there. And then another great channel is called My Lunch Break.
Okay.
Right. You can find him on YouTube, Rumble. He's everywhere. Just My Lunch Break, and start watching his videos.
Okay.
And he puts out like 1 or 2 videos a week. He's got about 110, 120 videos. You're going to want to watch them all. Okay. Because you're going to go, all of that time in history class was a waste. It's all lies, all of it. Right. And this is going to open up a whole new part of your understanding of who you are, where you are. So why would they lie? To make you feel insignificant, to make you feel powerless, to make you not know the true power that you have, to take away your free will. They can't take it away unless you give it away. But if you're in fear, you're going to be like, oh, please, yes, okay, I'll sign this, I'll do that, I'll obey, I'll, do all of the things that you ask. And that's what people do. People just assume that anything they're told by the government is truth, and it's not. Right.
Well, I'm already, I'm with you on that one for sure. I mean, there's, I grew up in the 80s and early 90s. And so, I mean, we were taught a lot of stuff that was just simply not the truth in school. I mean, that's, so I'm with you on that one.
Yeah. It's all lies. Yeah. I heard they said, CIA director, what's his name?
Okay.
So let me look it up real quick. This is William Casey. We'll know our disinformation program is complete when everything the American public believes is false. William Casey, CIA director. Now, I heard that years ago, long before Flat Earth. I'm like, everything? Come on. Everything? No, not everything. Everything, dude. Everything. It's all fake. It's all fake. It's crazy.
I don't understand. I mean, I get what you're saying as far as keeping people in fear but that's such a crazy concept to even wrap your head around. That
here again, don't believe what I'm saying. Also, the trolls are obsessed with me, so they're all going to show up on your channel. They're going to comment. Dave's a grifter. His app uses the globe formula to for everything. It's all nonsense, but you look at their channels, they're empty channels, empty, right? Sure. They're absolutely empty channels. So they're bots or lazy trolls. Let me just show you. People say, oh, Flat Earth is dying. Flat Earth is growing exponentially. So these are the people that are actively using my app right now.
Okay.
It's pretty crazy, right?
Yeah. That's a lot of people.
Look at the people here in the UK, right? So these are active users on the app right now, right? Everywhere, worldwide. So you don't become a flat earther because you don't want to be, I want to be ostracized by everybody and made fun of. No, you become a flat earther because you actually took the time and looked, right? The people that defend the globe have no idea what the globe is. They have no idea.
Yeah, I read an article where you talked about how this wasn't like a cross you wanted to bear. But once you knew the truth, it was something that
the CNN article. I was losing my voice there. Also, I couldn't even talk. I just come out of a conference and I've been talking nonstop for 4 days. And
I'm sure that with spreading this information, you're talking all the time. I mean, it's super exciting and it's super fun. And people say that I'm doing it to make money. I'm not. I walked away. I had my own business. It was awesome. I had a commercial solar power development company with 2 partners, and it was going great. And I walked away from it all because I realized that the world's going to hell. And unless we wake up, we're never going to be able to claim it back if we think we're on a spinning ball flying through space. So, people say, Dave,
there's child trafficking, immigration, there's all stuff going on in the world. Why
Sure.
flat Earth? Because if you're lost in space spinning out of control, you can't take control of your life because you're not connected to the earth. You don't understand how this world works. They don't want you to know that your thoughts create your reality.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny because like, this is a lot of information for me to take in. Obviously, this isn't the normal interview that I would usually do, or the normal conversation that I would usually have. I'm trying so hard to come up with things to talk to you about and to ask you, and really
I got it. So
it's a lot. I mean, it's just a lot. Like,
my suggestion is, if you go to my website and you get the app, it's $3. By the way, if you want to use the social media part, there's a little matchmaker. If you want to find somebody around you, there's a subscription for that. It's $11 a year, but you don't need that. Right. Just get the app and just take it slow. Watch the daily video, and then the videos that come up after it will all be good videos. Versus, like, if I sent you, hey Dave, how does give me a movie on the fake moon landing. I'll send you a video, and then the next video that YouTube will suggest is an anti moon landing video. One that right. But the app, when you watch a video, the next video that comes up will be a good video, a video supporting what you're looking at. And again, don't just believe a video. People have done the work for you, which makes it easier. Watch the video and then verify it. Go verify it yourself. And that's what I did.
Sure. Okay, so I did actually. How, from kind of a personal perspective of things, how do you deal with being ostracized and being sort of made fun of? Like, I remember he made a lot of missteps, but Kyrie Irving is a brilliant basketball player.
Flat earther too.
Yeah, I know. I remember when he came out as a flat earther, he almost got laughed out of the NBA. I mean, he obviously, there was a little more that went on, but like, how do you deal with things like that, with people who just don't listen and who just come at you and like want to shut you down?
And ignorance is not a bad word. I am ignorant to anything I don't know. That's what ignorant means. So when ignorant people laugh at you because of their stupid globe religion, I kind of laugh back, like, what that's their, they think they're literally think they're smart, but they're not. They're just ignorant to the reality of our world. They're indoctrinated. They're brainwashed. And it causes, in 2014, you mentioned when I first started Flat Earth, people would laugh and immediately laugh at you, point at you, and all sorts of stuff. But now you mention Flat Earth to somebody, people are like, I've heard some stuff about that. Hey, I've got some questions. So it's not nearly as bad anymore. And more people are coming around. My friend's a Flat Earther, and then they'll hear, like, there's different things, that will bring people to Flat Earth. If you're a biblical person, the Bible should bring you to Flat Earth, right? Okay. Scientific, we can look at all the scientific stuff. On the app, there's the button that looks like a spider web right here. That brings you to a more resources page, and this experiments section, all of the experiments have been done for you, documented, amazing, but you'll never find them on your own. Even if you search for them, the exact title, it won't show up. The algorithm will just, it'll push the globe trolls. There's books on here, amazing, all sorts of stuff. A homeschool section. So how do I deal with it? I kind of laugh it off, and the Flat Earth community is amazing. There's so many amazing people. I've made more friends here. Unfortunately, some of my homeschool, my friends that I grew up with, that in my neighborhood, excuse me, they're not ready. They're not there. That's okay, and they I don't discuss it unless they bring it up, and is what it is.
Yeah, I had a guest, and I don't really want to mention his name because it's not necessary, but when he found out, and this is not someone I know personally, it's just someone who came on as a guest, and we were talking a little bit after the show. And when he found out that I was having you on, he was kind of pushing me to attack you and to, like, try to throw you off balance. And the reality is, I don't know enough about about things to even do that. But that's also not
here's
not
the thing.
where I'm at. You know, I don't
I tell people, ask your hardest question. Like, what is the number one reason you think the Earth is a globe? Do you even know?
Yeah, no, I mean, I've already asked you
do you even know? Like, people don't even know why they believe it's a globe. Well, that's what I was told, right? So if I wrote the book of bullshit and I had a degree in bullshit, and then you read the book and I tested you and you got 100% on it, right? Yeah. I can give you a diploma that you are certified in bullshit. So when you talk bullshit with your friends, they can't question you because they don't have a degree.
Right.
That's the indoctrination system that we live.
Yeah, in. I was just so surprised by the hostility. You know, because I'm not going to feel hostile about anyone else's ideas. You know, that's just not.
Well,
I mean, unless it's racist, you know what I'm saying, or something.
What happens when you take a ball away from a baby?
Yeah, sure.
Right? When you take a ball away from the baby, they freak out. Well, guess what? You take a ball away from a big baby, it gets even worse. Okay? Because you're all like, oh, what about aliens and extraterrestrials? Well, extraterrestrial. What does extraterrestrial mean? Extra, what does that mean?
More. Right. Yeah.
Okay. And terrestrial, what does that mean?
Earth, like plane, like.
Well, extra land, terra is land.
Extra land.
Terra.
Yeah, sure.
So let me just type in map here for a second. And again, we do not need to speculate what's beyond where we're allowed to travel, which is 60 degrees south, to figure out what the Earth is. But if this is the flat Earth, right? Water needs to be contained, right? If you had a bathtub and the side of the tub was missing, you don't have the water anymore. Right. If you had a pond or a lake, what holds the water in? The land's higher than the water.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Did you know that Antarctica is the highest continent on Earth?
I think I did know that. Yeah.
Yeah. It's over double number 2, right? So here's our world pond, and here's the shoreline that holds it in. Right. They call this the ice wall. It's the shoreline of Antarctica. What's out here in the outer space? Right? Is there extra terra out there? Is there? We don't know, but there's lots of stories. Right?
Yeah.
So what if there's more land out here? If somebody lived on the extra terra in the outer space, what might you consider them if they came and visited you?
An extraterrestrial. Yeah.
From where?
From space. Yeah.
The outer space.
Outer space. Yeah.
The extraterrestrial, and that's just a couple thousand miles away. Right. If you want to believe that extraterrestrials come from planets, let's pretend that the crash at Roswell happened from they happened to luck out. They came from the closest star to our solar system. The closest star. That's 4.5 light years away. That's 25 trillion miles. Okay. Now, how far is a trillion miles? Well, if we were traveling in a ship at a mile per second, no one's ever gone that fast. 1 mile per second, and we traveled 1 trillion seconds, we've gone 1 trillion miles. Right.
Right.
How long do you think that is in 1 trillion seconds? How long is that in years? Do you want to take a guess? If you guess it within 2 months, I'll give you a Bitcoin.
Oh man.
Just take a guess.
250.
250 months or years?
Years.
Close. 31,000 years. Okay.
Oh, not even close.
Not even close. So think about it.
Close. Okay.
So we've traveled for 31,000 years. You're really tired of my jokes at this point, and we got to do that 24 more times to get to the closest star. Right. But if Elon's my good buddy, he's going to give me a rocket that goes 100,000 miles an hour. Okay. It's only going to take us 28,000 years to get there. Isn't that better? Cool, man. Right. 28,000 years.
Awesome.
Right?
Yeah.
So they navigated impossible space, which is a vacuum without a container. Doesn't make any sense. They get here and they crash in Roswell. Dumb luck of that. Right.
Yeah.
So outer space is stupid. It's ridiculous. It's impossible. It's scientifically impossible. On a flat Earth, maybe there is more land. Maybe there's more land just out here that we don't even know of inside of our pond. Right. But it's all hidden from us because GPS hides land out there.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting.
Here, Japan last year found 700 or 7,000 new islands. Japan.
Yeah.
How's that happen?
I don't know. You would think everything would be explored by now.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's so one of the most interesting things that I just sort of just came to me, literally everything. You're very, very well researched, because literally everything that's popped into my head, even the people being aggressive with you, you have a slide for it. You have
because it's not
talking point for it.
Yeah, it's not uncommon. It's standard.
Yeah.
Listen, I teach Flat Earth 101. Do you want to get into some high end stuff? Go to the homeschool page, and there's some high end stuff in there. But again, my job, my calling, I think, is to bring people to the point where they're willing to look, willing to understand that, hey, this world is created, it's intelligently designed. Therefore, there's a creator that you cannot deny. Now, your relationship and your understanding of who the creator is, that's your own business. Sure. I don't tell you what to do. I don't tell you anything. Sure. I'm not, I don't follow any organized religion. I have my understanding, my relationship, and that's it. My job is done once I've done that, because anybody that intelligently looks and gets by the censorship and the propaganda that they're going to stick in your face, can never unsee it. Once you see it, you can't unsee it.
Yeah.
Nobody can unsee it, unless, of course, they're tricked with fake information.
Right. So how long did it take you to gather all this research and really understand that the Earth is flat? And I mean, is this an ongoing process? Is this like how long did it take for all this to come together for you?
Yeah. It never stops. I learn new stuff every single day. Usually by 7 a.m. I have my mind blown every single day. Right. I used to waste half my day flipping through television shows, waiting until I had to go somewhere, just looking for nonsense to occupy my mind. Right now, it's like if I wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning, I'm like, I got 4 hours before I have to talk to anybody. This is awesome. Right. And there's so much to learn out there. This world is an absolute amazing place. So how long did it take me to realize the Earth wasn't a globe? It took me, I would say, less than 2 weeks, but for 2 weeks, I was really trying to prove the globe and disprove flat Earth.
It's kind of funny, because you talk about looking for mindless things to occupy yourself. When you said turn off Netflix, I immediately was like, but I'm in the middle of Lost.
Oh, no, wait, no, hold on.
Yeah. And that's how they
Lost
keep
is good. Lost is good. Lost.
I'm in the middle of Lost. But I mean, but that's kind of how they get you, I guess. Like, right.
I'll also allow you to watch Breaking Bad. Okay, even if you've seen it, you can watch it again. It's the best.
Thank you. Yeah, I haven't watched Breaking Bad yet, but I'm in the middle of Lost right now.
Best series ever, with the best ending ever. Unlike the friggin' Sopranos.
I've got to watch it. Yeah,
best ever. I've watched it 4 times. Okay,
nice, awesome, and that says something if it's rewatchable. Yeah. I mean, for sure.
It's funny, and we got to wrap it up because I got another podcast.
Definitely.
So on the app, if on the more resources page, it's on the old world page. Now I have to remember where it is. Yeah, on the old world page, there's this button, the Lost History of Flat Earth. People sent me that when it first came out. This was like years ago. And it was a 5-hour video. I'm like, I ain't watching a 5-hour video.
Right.
But then more and more people kept sending it to me. So I had it kind of on the side. I'm like, okay, one day I'll look at this thing. It was 11 o'clock one night, and I'm cleaning up some stuff. And I was like, let me just throw this on and see what happens.
Yeah.
10 minutes later, I stopped doing what I'm doing. I'm staring at it. Next thing I know, it's 4 a.m. I'm holding my head going, what the F just happened? Right. Took care of my day, came back home, and I watched it again the same day. I watched a 5-hour video twice in one day. Okay.
That's wild. Okay.
Mind-blowing. Okay. Now, listen, some of you'll find stuff and you'll be like, you know what? I don't really resonate with that. Okay. Throw it away. If you don't throw the baby out with the bathwater, throw out the stuff, keep the good stuff. You will find that there is zero evidence. Now, the trolls are going to go crazy. On your channel, all the comments from the trolls, click on their name, go to their channel. Empty. Nothing.
Right.
They're either bots or lazy trolls, right?
Gotcha.
And I call those the complete and total globe proof channels because they have all the globe proofs there. There's nothing there. Nothing there. So again, don't believe what I say. I'm pointing towards some doors. It's the why the lie is the biggest thing ever. I do believe we went to the moon. What's your stand on that? Or you're unsure?
Man, the moon thing, it's so hard. I feel like it would be senseless to fake it, but then looking at back then when we were in the race with Russia and we wanted to prove that we could get there before them, it makes complete sense why they would fake it. So yeah, I'm also honestly iffy on dinosaurs. I had a buddy break down.
There are no dinosaurs.
Yeah, I had a buddy break down. They've never found a full skeleton, and he believes that they actually bury their own bones. That they've created, like they're not even real bones, and then they dig them up, and
in all of the history with the megalithic construction, the pyramids, everything, no one had ever reported a dinosaur. In the mid 1800s, some royal guy wrote a paper, published it about theorizing about dinosaurs, and then amazingly, a year later to the day, he and his team discovered the first dinosaur. Isn't that interesting?
That's wild.
Isn't that wild, right?
Yeah.
And so dinosaurs were created to hide giant humans and dragons.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. So, and when I say giants, I'm not talking 7, 8, 9 feet. I'm talking giants.
You're talking like giants.
I'm talking giants. Right. And so they don't want us to know our history, like that. Let me just show you. Where is it? Moonlight. Oh. Well, first, we look at the moon, right? This is how we see the moon, but they're on the moon. How come it's not? It would be brighter because you're closer to the light source, right? The moon is its own light. The moon is its own light. Period. There's one thing. This is one that'll just totally close the idea for you. Where the heck did it go? So where did it go? I had a great moon shadow. Is this one? Okay, so look, the light source is to the side here, and we saw. Let me go back. His shadow is going this way, right? So the light source is over here, right? Okay.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. Yeah.
No, that makes sense. The sun's over there. That's fine. Okay. And so watch. We're gonna pan to the right, panning to the right, panning to the right, and when we get back over to him, look at his shadows going that way now. Wait, I thought the light was over here, right? And then we're gonna pan to the right, pan to the right, pan to the right. How did the light source get over there?
Okay.
How did the light switch directions 100%?
Yeah. And so I was honestly in that first still there that you showed, it looked very, very dark. And then on the lighted side, it looked like his shadow was going towards the lighted side. That's why I said it didn't make sense. It was odd.
Now watch this. This is when he's in the middle here. You see these? Watch his visor. You're going to see two lights right here, 1, 2, and then when he turns, you're going to see 3, 4. Okay. Just jump forward a little bit. So here's two lights, 1, 2.
Okay.
And then when he turns, 3 and 4. You see them?
Interesting. Yeah.
Okay. So what are those? Wow. How can there be 4 lights on the moon? Unless maybe it was something like
cameras,
this.
Right?
Maybe it was something like this.
Studio lights. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe. I don't know.
Wow. That's wild.
Once you start looking into the the moon landing and realize that this thing, right?
Yeah.
2 beach chairs and a gold umbrella, right? It's a Jeep chassis. How do you have pressurized tires that don't explode in a space vacuum, right? This is crazy. And back in 1970, when that was made, right? $38 million for that. And today, with inflation, you can get this bad boy for $37 million.
Wow. Okay.
Isn't that a little crazy?
Interesting. Yeah, that's nuts.
Okay. So
wow.
Yeah. Once you understand all of that.
Yeah. Well,
there's a lot to take in here.
For sure.
And I just encourage you, go to my website, explore. I encourage you to get the app. It'll support yourself and help support me too. And,
awesome.
I do this full time. So I'm just trying to wake people up. And also when you said, when you get ostracized. Yeah. If you're single, it makes dating harder because you got to find somebody that's not, lost in heliocentrism. But
right.
On the app, we have a dating module. You can literally say, okay, so within 100 miles, I'm looking at a female at this age, and bam, they're all there. You can swipe, you can message, you can video call, you can do group calls, you can do all sorts of stuff.
Cool. All right. Super amazing. Dave, you have given myself and hopefully my viewers and listeners a lot to think about. I know Tyler, and I'm sure that he's sitting there off camera, just his head is probably about to explode. Right. But yeah, I really, really appreciate you coming on. And flatearthdave.com is the website.
That's it. All my socials are there. Yeah. Follow me on X, Flat Earth Dave X, but all my socials are linked there. I've got a YouTube page, which is DITRH, stands for Deep Inside the Rabbit Hole. And all the videos there are like 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes. Then I have my interview channels where all the interviews are there. This will be there eventually. On the app, there's an interview button on the More Resources page. So as soon as this is up, it'll be on that link.
Awesome.
And question everything. Believe nothing. Belief is the lazy man's knowing.
For sure, man. All right. So I want to thank Tyler Martin and Emmy Studios for making this happen. I say it every week. I couldn't do it without him. I want to thank Dave. This has been enlightening, to say the least. And
thanks, man.
Thank you. And I want to thank everybody for tuning in every single week and checking us out. And we will see you next week for more Most Excellent Entertainment.